Pablo Escobar built himself a private paradise, a 2,000-hectare ranch with a zoo, an airport, and a mansion. He filled it with exotic animals from around the world. He loved them like toys. After he died, 4 of those animals escaped. They were hippos. Today, more than 100 of them roam Colombia. The government is now trying to kill them. And his mansion is a family theme park. This is the strangest legacy in the history of crime. Pablo Escobar was born in 1949. He grew up in a poor but honest family. His father was a farmer. His mother was a school teacher. They lived in a small town called Rio Negro. They had almost no money, but they sent all their children to school. Pablo and his 6 siblings all finished school. They even earned their diplomas. That was rare in Colombia in the 50s. Most families could not afford education. But Escobar wanted more than a diploma. He entered university to study law. He studied for 1 year, then he stopped. He looked at the world around him. He saw that honest work paid almost nothing. A teacher's salary could barely feed a family. He saw that criminals in his city were getting rich. Colombia in the 70s was a poor country. Its most valuable export was illegal drugs. He made a cold calculation. If crime was the way to wealth, he would take it. But he never forgot the poor. Later, he built houses and football fields for them. He became known as a Robin Hood figure. That reputation made him even more powerful. People protected him because they loved him. His name meant hope in poor neighborhoods. He saw himself as a provider, not a villain, but a businessman. That belief made his crimes feel justified. Escobar's first crimes were small. He stole gravestones, cleaned them, and sold them. He sold fake lottery tickets. He forged university diplomas. He sold them for very high prices. His network grew fast. He built a car theft ring. They stole Mercedes and BMWs across Colombia. He had his own workshop to change the cars. He faked their documents. He even bribed the police. Money opened every door for him. The stolen cars moved freely across the border. He sold them to rich buyers in Ecuador. The cars were almost new and worth a fortune. He also exported their spare parts. He learned the business from the bottom. He studied how money moved. He built his empire step by step. He was patient, careful, and ruthless. Then he discovered something better. Cocaine. It was smaller than a car. It was easier to hide, and it was worth far more. He shipped small planes from Colombia to Florida. He hid cocaine in airplane tires. He used speedboats and even submarines. Routes shifted faster than police could track. The market exploded. The Medellín cartel was born. At its peak, it supplied 80% of the world's cocaine. It earned around $70 million a day. That is more than the Colombian government made. So much cash arrived that it could not be counted. Bundles of bills sat in warehouses. Rats chewed through millions of dollars. Millions more were buried in the ground. Each year, 1/10 was lost to decay. It did not matter. The money kept coming. Experts say 1/5 of all $100 bills were in Colombia. Most of them belonged to the cartel. He offered to pay off Colombia's national debt. In exchange, the government would leave him alone. The offer was rejected. His power had a darker side. He called it plata or plomo, silver or lead, money for cooperation, death for refusal. Judges, police, and politicians faced the choice. At its peak, the cartel moved 15 tons a day. Escobar became one of the richest men on earth, and he wanted to build something amazing.
In 1978, Escobar bought a huge ranch. It covered about 20 square kilometers. That is exactly 2,000 hectares. He named it Hacienda Nápoles, after his Italian roots. Nápoles honored the Italian side of his family. Then he turned it into his own kingdom. Every corner of the land got his touch. First, he built a massive mansion. It was modeled after Spanish palaces. The house had an Olympic-sized pool. It had helipads for his private helicopters. It was more a fortress than a home. Then came the private zoo. He imported animals from Africa and Asia. Elephants, rhinos, giraffes, and zebras. Tigers, lions, and flamingos.
More than 1,000 animals in total. Capybaras and anacondas came from the jungle. He owned the smallest monkey in the world. Giant anteaters wandered the grounds. He bought parrots worth thousands of dollars. He bought an owl for $100,000. He smuggled kangaroos out of Australia. He brought camels from Arabia. Giraffes came from Tanzania. Bengal tigers came from India. He bought 4 hippos from a zoo in the United States. 1 male and 3 females arrived by plane. They were Escobar's favorite animals. He imported ostriches and flamingos too. He even flew in birds from the Himalayas. Keepers had to be hired for every animal.
No one else could touch a lion or a hippo. The hippos needed special pools and heavy walls. Their enclosures cost more than most houses. The hippos thrived in the tropical climate. They had everything they needed. He added a go-kart track. He built an artificial lake full of crocodiles. He even built a casino for his employees. He invited loyal workers to gamble there. They played with money he gave them. Tens of thousands of people worked for him. Loyal workers were invited to the ranch.
They relaxed, then returned to work. A private airport was built for his planes. He used it to fly guests in and out. He loved airplanes, so he put a replica at the gate. It was the same type of plane he used to fly cocaine. The plane on the pole became his symbol. The entrance still shows a small plane on a pole. It stands there even today. He built statues everywhere. Dinosaurs, giant hands, and enormous animals. Statue makers were hired for years. A giant hand rose from the grass. A prehistoric dinosaur guarded the lake. A colossal octopus spread its arms. Workers called the estate a small city.
He bought cars and motorcycles without counting. A Ferrari was flown in from Europe. His motorcycle track stretched across the land. Guests could ride whenever they wanted. A single garage held hundreds of vehicles. The best chefs and singers were flown in. Orchestras played at his parties. Waiters earned more than doctors. One guest got a car just for asking. Money was no object. His only worry was spending it all. He once joked they needed to hurry before the rats ate the cash.
The good times could not last. The United States wanted Escobar gone. Cocaine flooded American streets. They pressured Colombia to arrest him. His war against the state was brutal. Bombs, killings, and terror followed. He ordered the murder of a justice minister. Judges who opposed him disappeared. A plane was bombed in midair. Hundreds of innocent people died in his war. In 1991, he surrendered, but on one condition: he would build his own prison. He designed a luxury jail with a view. It had a living room, a bar, and a private suite. It even had a fireplace and a football field. He hosted parties inside the prison. Officials called it the strangest prison in history. In July of '92, he walked out. Guards simply looked the other way. For more than a year, he lived on the run. The government hunted him with new technology.
A special unit was built to catch him. It was called the Search Block. A rival group hunted him too. They called themselves the Persecuted. On December 2nd, 1993, they found him. He was hiding in a middle-class neighborhood. He was killed on a rooftop in Medellín. His bodyguard died beside him.
A day after his 44th birthday. Some say he took his own life. Others say a police bullet found him. No one knows for sure. The call that betrayed him came from his family. American technology traced his location. Minutes later, the rooftop was surrounded. His empire collapsed overnight. The ranch was abandoned. The government seized the property. Most of the animals were sent to zoos. But the hippos were different. They were too big and too dangerous to move, so they were left behind. 4 hippos, alone in the Colombian jungle.
And then they did what hippos do. They multiplied. Today, more than 100 wild hippos live in Colombia. Nobody knows the exact number anymore. Some say 120. Some say even 160. They are the only wild hippos outside Africa. They have no natural enemies. Hippos are among the deadliest animals in Africa. They are huge, fast, and unpredictable. And in Colombia, they have no predators. Each female can have a baby every 2 years. Locals call them the cocaine hippos. Their name honors the drug that brought them. They spread through rivers and lakes.
They poison the waterways with their waste. Fish have vanished from the Magdalena River. The herd has spread 100 kilometers north. Hippos now appear where farmers work. Farmers and fishermen live in fear of them. A hippo can crush a boat with one bite. Scientists call them an invasive disaster. The government has tried everything: sterilization, relocation, even culling. Officials want to remove up to 80 of them. Animal rights groups are fighting the plan. The hippos are healthy and strong. Conservationists say the hippos must go. An Indian billionaire offered them a new home. The town of Doradal depends on the hippos. Hippo tours pay for schools and shops. Some families owe their income to them. Scientists warn the herd could reach 400. Some say even more within a decade. The debate continues even now, all because a drug lord wanted exotic pets.
But there is a second twist.
The same land now has a new life.
In 2007, the ranch reopened. On December 26th, the gates opened. It became Hacienda Nápoles Theme Park. A private company runs it today. The mansion became a museum. Curiously, it barely mentions Escobar's name. The exhibits focus on the victims instead. Historians wanted to end the myth. The zoo is back with lions, tigers, and giraffes. Zebras and antelopes graze in open fields. 2 of the original hippos even live there. Visitors can feed them carrots. The 2 hippos are named Paco and Huaco.
A huge water park was added. Children splash where bodyguards once stood. Slides twist around the old artificial lake. Kids ride where crocodiles once swam. There is a pool shaped like Victoria Falls, another shaped like a giant octopus. Visitors can drive through a safari. They watch zebras and antelopes from their cars. A dinosaur area delights younger kids. The old mansion is open for tours. Its famous red gate still greets visitors. Its arches have seen 2 very different worlds. The park is a hit. Tickets cost between $45 and $65. Tourists come from all over the world.
Since it opened, millions have visited. Some come for the history. Kids come for the water slides. Families come for a cheap weekend away. The hippos became a tourist attraction too. The town nearby sells hippo souvenirs. Local guides offer hippo spotting tours. Souvenir shops sell plush hippo toys. A criminal's dream now pays for family vacations. The gates that once guarded a kingpin now welcome children. Part of the land was even given to victims. Families hurt by the cartel now farm there. Locals call the change poetic justice. History rarely offers such a strange ending.
Here is the part people miss. Escobar wanted to own everything. He built a paradise with a zoo, a palace, and planes. And in the end, he left two legacies: a family theme park built on his land and 100 wild hippos destroying the rivers. He controlled an empire. He could not control what came after him. 4 pets became a crisis. A mansion became a playground. Sometimes the strangest endings are the most honest. If this story surprised you, there are more waiting. Subscribe and we will bring you the next forgotten story. And tell us in the comments, would you visit a theme park built by a drug lord?